Okay, good morning. And who am I speaking with?
Good morning, Kevin. This is Jennifer Mclaughlin. Nice to
Yeah.
connect with you.
Well, nice to connect with you too. And you're smiling, even though the radio folks can't see that. But I'm glad to see you're smiling because this has been such a stressful, anxiety producing kind of, I don't know, last several months probably. And so we're talking about self-care today, and we're talking about, what are people doing to just kind of make sure they don't lose their minds, and just kind of take care of themselves. So what are some of the things that you've been doing leading up to Tuesday to kind of take care of Jennifer?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question. Uh, Today's a big day, the election. And I think one of the things that really helps me is knowing that I'm grounded in doing work that I so deeply believe in. Uh, and I think that really helps me on a day like today when I feel sort of out of control of the outcome and what today is going to look like and what the future is going to hold. So, I have been working in anti racism for the last 5 years, creating content and curriculum for children. I'm currently creating content for youth and planning to expand the content for all ages, for adults, children, and youth. Curriculum that goes together to help people engage in exploring anti-racism, exploring what does it look like to see and begin to recognize the culture around us that is dominant, that has one narrative about what is normal. And so I think it really helps. Today, I will be studying. I'll be meeting with my liberation psychology professor in a while and having a conversation about my studies there and how I can best understand liberation as a goal of life, of setting us all free from the things that bind us, whether we are complicitly participating in the oppression or marginalization of people, and we are carrying the weight and the burden and the self-harm and cultural harm of that, or whether we have experienced oppression and marginalization, unpacking our place in that. So that's one thing I'll be doing today for self-care, is kind of unpacking some of that.
Well, see, I expected you to say something like I'll be doing 8 hours of yoga or something like that and taking a 25-mile hike or something. But I think you touched on something really interesting, is that you're kind of taking, even though there's a lot of anxiety around and anger or whatever you want to call it around what's been going on, it's almost like you're taking it as an opportunity for growth and an opportunity to maybe impact other people, because sometimes you don't know you have a problem until it kind of just blows up in everybody's face, which I think is what's happening.
Right.
But have you been affected at all, like emotionally, mentally, physically? I mean, are you sleeping less? Are you eating more or less? I mean, how has this affected you more on a physiological level or
Well, we
emotional
just
level?
had Halloween, so candy's an issue.
So you eat
Uh,
a whole bag of candy because of this.
but yeah, I think it is hard to sleep right now. It is hard to rest. I have scheduled a therapy session for myself today, and that will be a very helpful practice for self care. One of the things that I'm really working on there is offering myself love and noticing that even if I just take my hand and place it on my heart, and I can offer myself some love and warmth, that really helps. And I'm also working on listening to my anxiety as something that is trying to help me, and listening to the voice of what that anxiety is trying to say to me so that I can be active and have some control. Because when we feel so out of control on a day like today, at a time like this, that is very destabilizing and really challenging. So I think it's really important, both in the work that I do, studying social justice, studying pedagogies of oppression, studying these things and creating content for others is a way that I can be active in engaging for change. And I think that is really important. So, so that therapy, that self-love, that listening to the anxiety, and instead of shaming the anxiety and disliking that within me, trying to listen to that, I think is really helpful. Uh, I find also that just creating beauty really helps. Taking a walk in the fall leaves, doing yoga helps. I've got to get back to my yoga practice. It's been hard not being able to go to the studio for yoga. But that I think has really helped me in the past as well. And like I said, like just picking up a book and reading a non-dominant centered voice, reading a voice of somebody that isn't the mainstream. So reading a voice of a person of color, reading a book written by somebody that has other abilities than I have, reading a voice by a person, a lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, queer person. Picking up and engaging in that non-dominant narrative, I think is really helpful because I can learn and grow in my ability to have compassion and understanding of how to center other voices and how I can be a better ally.
Well, I think that as you were talking, I was thinking of bursting a bubble. I think there's a tendency for us as humans to live in our own little bubble, live in a world where we've created our own reality. So by listening to other voices, and while you might not even agree with all the voices you hear, it's important to still hear them because that's part of the world that we live in. For future elections, what would you like to see? Because this has been just very trying, I think, for everyone on some level. But let's just project 4 years down the line. What would you like to see that's different?
Wow. Well, I would like to see a country where we have respect and empathy and a belief that all humans have worth, that all humans have value, that we are not trying to run people off the road just because they believe something different than us. So I'd like to see us engaging one another in a way that demonstrates respect and demonstrates value of their humanity, because all humans are created equal, or in the through the lens of Christianity, all humans are children of God. We are all beloved. We are all good. And we each have our struggles and our work, but I think I would like to see us as a country move towards a place uh, that offers equity. I come back over and over again to a phrase by Valerie Kaur that says, "Let this not be the darkness of the tomb, but the darkness of the womb." And I think about that this could be a birthing time, because I don't think we've ever known an America that is truly a place of equity for all people, where we are not marginalizing and oppressing some of our neighbors. And I'd really like to see us grow to a place where there could be that respect and dignity and value of all humanity.
Very well put. Thank you.